This week's episode of the podcast is brought to you by no one. Boom. Welcome everybody to the very first episode of the podcast, which is probably the most simple and stupid name I could have gave this thing. But I'm running with it, and it's got an AZ because, Az. So if you don't know who I am, my name is Az. I am the host of whatever the fuck this is going to be. So yeah, like I say, this is the very first episode. There is no real structure to this. I am literally going to fly by the seat of my pants. Seat of my pants, whatever that saying is. Sorry, I'm drinking, so a little bit of Dutch courage for recording a podcast completely on your own. This is a bit foreign to even me, who is by no stretch a podcast professional. But obviously, again, if you've watched any of the other stuff that I've worked on, whether that is Pod Vulture, which is still ongoing, this does not mean Pod Vulture is over. We're still going to do this. I'll do that even, and this. I'm going to do this. Cole is going to be on that with me. So that's good. So yeah, so this is going to be my own thing. So just to sort of give you an idea, I say there's no structure. What I'm planning and hoping, obviously, for future episodes is just to have friends, guests on this with me and just discuss maybe a specific topic, stuff they work on. Excuse me, I'm just going to have a little sip of this Kraken and Coke that I'm just drinking and holding like an idiot if you're watching the video version of this. By the way, this is going to be the most uninteresting video you could watch. But I know a lot of people listen to my stuff on YouTube or watch my stuff on YouTube, so there's a video version because why not? So yeah, what I'm planning on is obviously, like I say, is getting people on here with me to discuss recent events, current topics, or just a specific topic. I've got a lot of friends who do work in a lot of interesting fields or have worked in interesting fields or done interesting things. I'm the most uninteresting. I'm trying to make myself interesting with a podcast. So yeah, and it's just a bit of fun in the chaos of everything right now. So I'm going to touch on the whole living in lockdown stuff like on this episode as well, because I think it'd be interesting, and I think all of us are going through it right now, and I can talk about my experiences right now in it, and that can be like our little bit of a topic for today. I thought, whilst I ramble on about other stuff, I guess, because why not? We've got to fill time, and I'm talking to no one. So yeah, like I say, I just decided to do this out of just sheer boredom more than anything, and I thought it would be fun, and I thought it would be a challenge as well to sort of sit and do this, because I like to. I think anyone who knows me personally knows I've always wanted to dabble in the world of YouTube, and I've had several ventures that have not necessarily taken off, and I mean, really, I've never expected them to. And that's being genuinely deadly honest and serious. Never expecting to. If anything, I've always done it out of fun. Obviously, me and a couple of friends did a podcast called Guys Playing Games, and we did that for a bit, and we had some success with that. We got to do some really cool shit with that. Actually, we got to go to the launch of the Red Bull Gaming Sphere in London. Which I think is still there. Obviously, currently, no good. Social distancing and all that. So we got to go to the launch night of that. We just completely weaseled our way into that. That was a pretty cool day, must admit. And we did some cool videos and stuff for that and whatnot. So that was really cool. And then obviously we got to go to the premiere of Rampage, which if anyone who knows me or anything like that, follows me on Twitter or whatever, obviously I'm a huge wrestling fan, so The Rock was he produced and was starred in Rampage, so I was hoping I was going to meet The Rock. I didn't get to meet The Rock, guys, so that was really disappointing. So that was sad, but knowing he was literally just feet away from me was enough. So that was cool. So that all spiraled off of that, and and it's that was just dumb luck and just doing this stuff for fun more than anything. Worked on a website for a bit. Screen Crunch was also one of the guys that we worked on Guys Playing Games with. I think the problem with a lot of this stuff that I've worked on, is time, more than anything. And that's why I feel like now is the perfect time to do something like this, because I have a lot of time. Because I'm at home, like we all are. We're all just at home. So why not fill it with doing something that you enjoy, you know? So, and if I can sit here, and I will feel accomplished. If I can sit here and ramble to you for at least 30 minutes, because that's what I'm going for. If we can go for 30 minutes, at least, we've done a good job. And if you can listen to me for 30 minutes, then well done you. Because I have no idea where this is going to go, and I'm already completely just rambling. But, you know, you might get a kick out of it. So, yeah, obviously, Pod Vulture is still ongoing. That's not going anywhere. Anyone who listens to that, we're still going to make episodes of that. There's still going to be Pod Vulture for as long as Coleman wants to stick around and do it. This is the other reason I wanted to do something on my own, because sometimes collaborating with other people is more difficult, because you've got conflicting schedules and stuff like that. So, obviously, it's harder sometimes, especially when you're working and... You know, and I'm a bit of a social butterfly and stuff like that. So, like, sometimes my weeks, you know, will shift, and, you know, I'll be doing stuff on nights we need to record, and and vice versa. And, yeah, it doesn't always work out. Whereas with this, it's my own beast. I can talk to who I want to. I can record when I want to. I can control all the content, and I can be as creative or uncreative as I choose to be with this. I did think about getting the green screen up for the old video version of this, but I decided against it for this episode because it's quite late and I've been putting off recording all day, because I was like, can I do this? And I was like, I'll have a drink and, you know, just get myself a little bit of a buzz going so we can actually like churn some verbiage out. And like I said, I didn't really have a plan for this. I was just going to explain what this podcast will be, and then, you know, hopefully off the back of listening to me for this 20 or 30 minutes, then hopefully you'll come back next time and we will have a guest. I do have a guest lined up, and again, like, obviously we're gonna know, and this is no offense to my guest at all, but you know, hopefully down the line I'm gonna try and field some stuff off the old internets and see who we can wrangle onto this podcast, just because I have found this as well. When you're doing stuff like this, if you just throw shit out there, there was the whole Rampage thing with guys playing games. If you just throw shit out into the universe, sometimes you'll hook something and you can reel it back in. So we'll see who we can get on here, whether it's musicians or anything like that. But obviously I'm not talking big time. I'm not going to land any big interviews or anything like that, but we'll see who we can get on here, whether it's like smaller streamers, because obviously, again, I want a variety of people on here, because we can just shoot the shit, and that's really all I've set this up for, is just shooting the shit. So yeah, I've got a couple of people in mind who I want to get on here. I've contacted at least one of those people. Other than my first guest, who I'll record probably later this week or something, and we'll drop it at some point. I have no idea what the scheduling for this podcast is going to be. That's the beauty of it as well, is I can just release episodes and you can choose to listen to it or not. And that's the great thing about this. So yeah, I mean, obviously, as well as doing this as well, I'm trying to stream more and things like that. If anyone out there likes video games, I am trying to stream more. Anytime I'm playing something, so follow me on Twitch. I'll put all the details, or I'll give you the details in for that. I won't plug anything right now. But yeah, so I've got a guest coming up. I'm gonna surprise people with that, because anyone who's probably initially listening to this is probably a friend of mine, and thank you for listening. But I haven't lost you already, so that's good. Let's hope I haven't. Anyway, so. Obviously, we're all living in pretty wild times right now, and I'm not going to sit here and preach like I'm some sort of expert or anything like that, but I'm just, you know, has anyone else become an alcoholic? Is the question. You know, I definitely am finding in this period that I'm drinking far more often than I would have before. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like to drink anyway. I enjoyed a beverage or two, or 9, or 20. 20's probably being over-exaggerative, but I digress. Yeah, no, I like to drink, but I do find myself just in the evenings now, just having a glass of something to take the edge off of the anxiety that just looms constantly over your head. I'm sure there is plenty of you that are potentially listening to this. By the way, I am very self-deprecating, so I'm going to think that nobody's listening to this, and I'm completely just talking to myself right now, and nobody's listening. So this is the mad thing about this. Oh no, I'm tangenting again, but fuck it. This is my podcast. I'm going to do what the fuck I like. I know I'm tangenting again. There's a mad thing about this. I'm just going to throw shit out in the ether. So maybe, like, hopefully, we'll have a comments section and stuff. Like, hopefully, you can send me some comments back to some of the stuff we talk about on here. That'd be good, because that's the only way I can hear any response from anyone. So that'd be nice. That would be lovely, wouldn't it? It'd be great. So yeah, no, it's just a very fucking strange time. And you know, I mean, I guess this is a positive to come out of it. That has freed up some time to be able to do stuff like this. You know, but I mean, let's be honest. Everything that's going on right now is pretty negative. I'm sure there's enough of you who are either furloughed or working from home or whatever. But excuse me, I've just realised this still connected to a voice chat, so they might think, "What the fuck are you saying? What's going on?" Just disconnected myself. Yeah, so obviously working from home and stuff like that, and like I think it's been a real learning curve. I remember before all this happened, my manager at work was like, "Oh, do you think you'll enjoy working from home and stuff like that?" And I was, "Oh yeah, it'll be a breeze. It'll be fine. It'll be totally fine." Because yeah, you know, I'm a nerdy guy. I can stay home and play video games for a million hours and stuff like that, and you know, quite used to staying in and having my own company for hours on end. But at the same time, I do enjoy the outside world and seeing my friends and going to gigs and things like that. And obviously we can't do any of that right now. But so when he was asking me and he was like, "Oh, do you think you can work from home?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, fine, that'd be fine, totally fine." I was so wrong. I was so wrong. And I hope I'm not the only one who's saying that. And don't be wrong. And for anyone who's listening who is still working and is having to go out to work, especially if you work on the front line, I know potentially have at least one friend who is out there working on the front line. By no means am I complaining, because I'm not. Because I know I'm actually in a very fortunate position still. But working from home sucks. Like, it just feels like you are in Groundhog Day. It just feels like you're just... Don't get me wrong, as getting older, I feel like the existential dread really sets in. That's probably quite deep. But it's that whole thing of, like, you know, especially, like... Hence I'm doing this, because it's something I enjoy. Don't get me wrong, I don't hate my job or anything like that. But it's just something else to do, you know. I can't say that my profession is necessarily what I wanted to do with my life, and I'm sure there's plenty of people who can agree with that. So yeah, it's just so most days can feel like Groundhog Day when you're going into the office and stuff like that. But this is just like a whole another level, because at least when you're in the office, you've got your colleagues and stuff who will, I don't know, someone will say something stupid and it will just, you know, or something will happen, but then you've got your friends. Don't get me wrong, I consider some of my work colleagues to be friends. But your colleagues to bounce off of, and, you know, and you know, it just feels completely different. Whereas I feel like working from home, like it, for instance, in the field that I work in IT, if we're working on an issue, it all feels quite isolated, because you're the stress of a problem doesn't feel like it's necessarily being spread out. It feels like it's just on you. I know very well it's me, right? So it can have a bit of a strange feeling like that, to be honest. It's like it's hard to explain. If you work in an office environment, I'm sure you could probably agree. But yeah, getting up and then coming down. So you wake up, come downstairs, have your calls, and then you're hanging out in the same room in the evening. I mean, for me, since we've been on lockdown, it's like I wake up in my bedroom, which is above my head. Not that anyone can, well, some of you might see, is above my head. And then I come downstairs and then have breakfast, sit at my desk, work all day, and then I don't leave this room. And I'll work out in this room, and then I'll chill out in this room. And it's like, you're not leaving the same room. It's just, yeah, that's like, fuck. So I'm hoping some of you can relate to that. And again, I'm not trying to be woe is me. It's just talking about my own personal experiences, because that's all I can do in this mad scenario that the world finds itself in. Excuse me, swig of the Kraken and Coke. Give them a little plug. Big fan of Kraken, all of a sudden. Like, I used to be a big Disaronno man. Now I'm a Kraken man. I'm converted. I'm all about that rum life now. So yeah, Groundhog Day. Fucking, yeah, no. Good movie. Not a good reality. 100% not. Totally feel for Bill Murray. At least he got to fucking go outside, though. He got to go outside. Yeah, he was living the same day, but every day was very, very different. Whereas, like, every day right now is very, very similar. It's very, very similar. So yeah, obviously trying to get out as much as well at the same time of, like, just trying to go for walks and stuff like that. It dawned on me yesterday, actually, funny enough. I hadn't left the house in 10 days. Like 10 fucking days. Like, I actually looked at my hand. It was my hands that made me think, what the fuck? I am so pale. I am so unbelievably pale right now. I'm a very pale guy, but I'm really pale right now. And I was like, I need to fucking go for a walk and just get out in the sun. Don't get me wrong, I haven't been completely sitting around on my arse. So I've been trying to, it's funny because going into lockdown, I was in the process of like a big weight loss thing. And I was going to Slim and World and things like that. Like, I'm not ashamed to admit that. I'll admit that on a podcast that potentially hundreds of people could listen to. I was going to Slim World and things like that. And by the way, shout out to Slim World. That shit works. That is legit. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, you can't leave the house. And I must admit, the only exercise, well, I say the only exercise, it's very good exercise. The exercise I was getting is I was playing squash about 2 or 3 times a week. As well as going for like walks at lunch and stuff like that, and just, you know. And obviously squash is like mad fucking good cardio, so it wasn't like I was being like a complete lazy fuck or anything. So, yeah, I was like, oh shit, okay, so can't leave the house, I need to do something. So I went in at the deep end and started the old insanity workout. If you're not aware of insanity, look it up. It's torture. It's very difficult. It's a HIIT workout plan by Shaun T. And again, if you don't know who Shaun T is, look that motherfucker up, because he's fantastic. What a guy. So it makes me dig deeper every day. Well, I say every day. We'll get to that in a second, though. Yeah, so obviously it was like, oh, I can't go out, so I need to start working out from home. Which I feel like everybody is doing. And that, I won't lie, as a dude who struggles to keep himself in a rhythm. I mean, the first 3 or 4 weeks, I was really, really on it with doing a workout I was doing 6 days a week, insanity. And then I started falling off of the horse a little bit, and like the last couple of weeks, like I'm working out maybe 2-3 times a week. So I'm not being completely lazy, but like, yeah, I don't know what it is. It's just loss of motivation. I have no idea. I mean, again, it is just a very strange time, and you know, and it's funny. I feel like work's been busier since we started working from home. Don't know if that's the same for anyone else. It seems very odd. It's very odd. Just mad busy. And yeah, with that, and then like just the constant anxiety over your head as well is like, you know, I'm in a pretty sound position, but there is still that fear of like, oh, okay, what if I wake up tomorrow and they're making cuts or anything like that? Because you see it happening all over the place with people just losing their jobs and getting furloughed. I mean, getting furloughed, isn't the worst thing that could happen. Is it, you know, at least still getting paid, but obviously those kinds of sectors that are being furloughed, you know, there's obviously extra anxiety because it's like you're being furloughed for a reason, I guess. But I completely feel for anyone who's having to sort of deal with that at the minute. And I know there is people in my company who have been furloughed. So there is that worry of like, what if that happens? And then what if the work dries up kind of thing? So my cat has just entered the room. Sorry about the dead silence there. That freaked me the hell out. So yeah, it's all just very anxious right now. So I don't know if that's what's knocked me off the horse a little bit with the whole workout stuff. I apologise if you can hear my cat crying on this podcast. He's just ruined the whole flow of what I was just doing. Thank you, Bruce. That was good. Yes, hello. Sorry about that. So yeah, keeping up with working out is difficult, and obviously like social media right now is just a hotbed for everyone being like, look at the run I did. Look at the workout. And I was one of these people, I must admit, when I first started doing Insanity, I was like crossing the calendar off every day. And I was like, I've done Insanity today, I've done it this day. And then I gave up on that because I was like, okay, I missed it today. And I don't want to expose myself, even though people probably like, oh, wait a minute, he stopped posting about Insanity. Like, why did he stop posting about it? What did he just stop? Yeah, he just stopped, basically. So yeah, it's just trying to find that motivation again, isn't it? Not all of us are not athletically gifted, because I'm definitely not that, not even close. Jesus Christ. But yeah, no, it's just finding that rhythm and keeping in that mindset, I think, is tough. Trying to eat as good as possible as well, being locked inside and stuff. Though Deliveroo is all too tempting. And Five Guys just reopened in Colchester this week, so that is dangerous times. Dangerous. I don't. So yeah. Other than that, it's things are going okay in lockdown. For me personally, I mean, it's obviously I live with parents as well. And my mum is in the at-risk bracket, so obviously I have to be very careful of just going outside, basically. I have to go shopping and stuff like that, and it's like, oh god, like you go into Tesco and you got these people who just like walk straight up to you, and it's like, why have you done this? Why are you in my teeth? You're so close to me. You're practically inside of me. Like, just step the fuck back, kind of thing. Like, I hate these people who ignore the arrows on the floor as well. I'm sure, like, most of you have seen this happen. And if you do this yourselves, then, like, fucking stop it. Like, the arrows are there for a reason. Follow the fucking arrows. So we've got to do. If it says up, go up. If it says down, go down. Yeah? Simple. It's real easy. So yeah, obviously that's scary as well, because, and my dad's in his 70s and stuff like that. So it's like, Jesus Christ. He's not at risk, but he's in the age bracket, which is more riskier than others. So yeah, keeping them sane as well is a challenge. It's just difficult, especially when you've got parents who are older, and aren't necessarily tech savvy or anything like that. It's not where they can sit and watch Netflix properly like that. Like, if they want to watch Netflix, I essentially have to set it up for them and put something on, which is fine. But like, I think for them it's just annoying because you can't just like click it. And like, as many times as like I'd show them, it doesn't necessarily stick. Mum's a bit better than Dad in that respect. Like, Dad just wouldn't even know how to change the source on a telly over to the Fire Stick to watch Netflix. So he'd rather just watch reruns of Chelsea v Man United from 1964. So I mean, each their own. I can't deal with that. So the whole lack of sport thing for him is a big deal. And I just keep saying to him, I was like, oh, the wrestling's still going. You watch wrestling. He hates wrestling. I love wrestling. Again, if you don't know me, I'm a huge fucking wrestling fan. Funny enough, this podcast has like the most like pro wrestling spin on it. So instead of an S in the name, we've got a Z. So, Hardy Boys, Dudley Boys, it's the same thing. We just threw a Z in there and we're like that. That'll do. I say we, like there's a team here. My friend who's a graphic designer, Richard Mann, big shout out to him, who put together the little logo we've got for this and stuff like that. I guess we're a team in that sense. So if I need any logos or anything like that, he is my go-to. He is my saving grace in that respect. Yeah, we'll go with that. He's my saving grace. His name is Grace now. Yeah, he's real good at all the graphic things. So if you need any graphics or anything like that, tweet him. Actually, probably don't tweet him. I don't think he's really much of a side job man. If he is, then I'll shout out his Twitter handle next episode. If he gives me the go ahead, I don't want to shout him out just in case. This is very awkward now. Let's forget I even mentioned Richard. Yeah, so I just SZ. I'm as Podcazt. Hoping no one's actually pronouncing it that way, because I actually just wanted it to be called The Podcast. We just got stupid lettering. And weirdly enough, nothing was called The Podcast. Really blew my mind, actually, that nothing was called The Podcast. How is there not another podcast out there? Or at least, do you know what? I was expecting like some complete like 420 fucking podcast to have The Podcast. Maybe like two 16-year-old stoners who did a podcast. And I was like, oh, okay. So 29-year-old loser instead can have a podcast called The Podcast. And here we are. Here we fucking are. So yeah, we're getting close to 30 minutes, guys. I'm very, very proud of myself right now. I hope I didn't offend anyone with the whole coronavirus stuff just now. I'm literally just talking from a personal perspective and personal anxieties and stuff like that, and just airing them on the internet. You know, my opinion is not necessarily valid on anything. But if you choose to listen to it, then great. Cool. Where was we even going? I lost it there. I have no idea. This is my third horrible measured Kraken and Coke, because I'm such a hardcore drinker. So sorry if I'm a bit all over the place with the verbiage. Like I say, next time we'll have a guest, and we'll have someone to bounce off of and actually have a conversation with, instead of just me just spouting things at you over the internet. We was talking about parents. Let's go back to that. Older people. So yeah, he's watching reruns of like sport, essentially. And my mum, bless her, I introduced her to Gangs of London the other day. And she literally binged the whole series in a single day. I was very proud of her. It was her first binge of a TV series. She watched 10 fucking episodes of Gangs of London. Back to back to back to back. By the way, if you haven't seen Gangs of London, I mentioned this on this week's pod. I can't speak. By the way, you're going to have to deal with my terrible speech at times. Especially if I'm having a drink. So, that's a thing. I'm a podcaster who can't talk. So that's good. Yeah, if you haven't seen Gangs of London, I mentioned it on Pod Vulture this week. Right at the end, after the big rambling about Star Wars and the MCU. I mentioned Gangs of London. Watched the first episode of that this week. Very, very good. My mum watched all 10 episodes, and her review was that it was bloody brilliant, but it didn't end how she wanted to. But, let's be honest, that's the reality of modern television these days, right? We all saw Game of Thrones. We all get upset about these things. They never end how you want them to, do they? Never bloody do. So yeah, she had her first binge for TV series. I'm very proud of her. But yeah, I do feel for her. I mean, I think she's been out of the house once in maybe 11 weeks at this point. And this is a woman who was always out of the house, always at bingo, always visiting friends, just always out. She was never inside, apart from in the evenings, unless she was at bingo. It's very, 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 I think that's where I get the whole social side from. Definitely from my old mother. Yeah, so I do feel for her, and it's very tough. And the one time she was out is because she had to go to the hospital. Which, you know, no one needs details for that right now. But yeah, she's totally fine, by the way. Totally, she's good. It's all good. So yeah, what a terrible reason out of like 11 weeks to have to fucking go out is to go to the hospital. It's fucking terrible. My dad is okay though, because he gets to go for his little walk to the shop to get his newspaper. I allow him to do that because the local shop is pretty quiet, you know, and he can just go in there, get his newspaper and pop back. And it's fine. Whereas like if it's shopping, or like today I had to go and buy some laminate Just mainly to keep the old man sane. So he's got a DIY project. That's helping as well. DIY projects for him. You know, he's happy as Larry when he's got some DIY to do. So yeah, I feel for them for the most, definitely. It's a lot easier for me than it is for them, I think. You know, some evenings I'll sit and watch a film with them, you know, have a little family time and whatnot. I know, it's very cute, right? So yeah, no, I feel for that, and like anyone who's, especially in that age range and stuff like that, it's got to be such a fucking freaky, scary fucking time right now. I think having me here for them is probably a real big saving grace, to be fair. Because if they do need anything, like I can go out and they taken anywhere I can take them and stuff like that. So there's one little positive spin about this whole thing. Luckily, none of us have killed each other yet as well. Because we do love a bicker, all of us lot. We all know how to push each other's buttons, you know. So no one's hit anyone with a hammer yet, so that's good. Yet. We're only like 10 weeks into this thing or whatever the fuck it is right now. So keep tuned. No, we won't do that. I'm kidding. We love each other, really. No one would do that. So yeah, no, it's just interesting time. It's an interesting topic to speak about. I think it's going to be a very interesting thing to reflect on in a couple of years' time when this is all done with. I'm not really going to delve into like the numbers that we're seeing and stuff like that, because I'm not an expert. I read what everybody reads, and I've got my opinion on it all. But I don't want this to be the space for that. Do you know what I mean? It's too much. Like, I don't mind. I would rather someone come into this podcast and discuss. If we could have a discussion about it, that would be better, rather than me just airing an opinion on it. Not that I've got like some fucking mega like crazy opinion on the whole thing. There's like a conspiracy theory caused by 5G and all this stuff. Like that stuff's mental, by the way. I'm just throwing it out there. I hope no one who listens to this, I'm talking about like throwing opinions about this, but this is, this is just common sense, surely. If you believe that coronavirus is being spread by 5G, like, just check yourself, please. just mentally check yourself, because that is just the most banana thing. Like, that's actually banana. I watched this video the other day of some protest that was happening in London, and the people who were like protesting 5G towers, and just going on about how it's like some sort of mad conspiracy. They just didn't seem to have a brain cell between like any of them. There wasn't a single shared cell. It's quite alarming. So I'm sorry if that causes any offence, but like honestly, like get a grip. Like just get a grip, please, for the love of God. So yeah, that's as political as I'm getting on here. That's just madness. Absolute bloody madness. We don't need any of that. There's already enough mad shit going on right now. Don't just add to it by being mad yourself. Like, read the news, read the facts, understand what's going on, and form your opinion on facts, not stuff you see on Facebook. Jesus. Like, that's not... I get concerned about this with my mum, actually. My mum, out of the two, like I say, my mum is the more tech-savvy, if you want to say that. She's definitely not tech-savvy at all. Because she has a smartphone, and she has Facebook and stuff like that. And, like, she reads stuff, and she'll mention things to me, and I'm like, where have you read this? And she'll be like, I heard it on the news, and I'll check that. I'll actually go and fact-check her. Where she said, I saw it on BBC. I will check the BBC, like, news site and stuff like that. And I'm like, Mum, that's not there. Like, you've seen it on Facebook. Oh, maybe I did. No, like, don't. I keep telling her, I was like, don't believe the stuff you see on Facebook. Don't believe that. Watch the news channel because it's better informed. And again, that's probably another topic of debate in its own sense. But like reading stuff off your Facebook wall off of people who are, and again, this is no knock on people of her age, but people of her age are more susceptible to believe the madness because they don't understand that people would like make stuff up on the internet, and there is a culture for that. That understanding of it isn't necessarily there. So that's like with my mum. I'm like, don't believe it. It's scaremongering. It's chaos theory. All this stuff. Like, it's just stay away from it. So that's like a legit thing, and hence these people. Like, if you saw the people in this video that I watched the other day, they are the people who would read their Facebook feed and see that 5G is the true cause of coronavirus, and they would run outside and start burning a tower down. And it's like, you read that on Facebook. Like, just use a bit of common sense. Just look on like a trusted source. I mean, I understand these people might not necessarily know the trusted source, but if you live in England, right, you know what the BBC is. Just look on the BBC website. There is articles on there saying 5G is not causing the coronavirus. Like, that's all you need to do. Like, you know it exists. Just have a look. So that's my little rant on crazy people. Just crazy people and the lies on Facebook. So yeah, I do hope everyone is as safe as possible though, and keeping as sane as possible. I am finding that, like, again, this is probably no surprise to anyone. Video games have been a big help through this, I think, and having things like Discord and voice chats and stuff like that to talk to friends and play video games with them. Me and a group of friends even had a game of online Dungeons and Dragons. That's how nerdy this guy is. Like, and it was great. And we have online drinks on a lot of people. I mean, I'm not the only person doing this. Obviously, this is no news to anyone. It's just like, it does help. 100% it does help. Like, if you can arrange a social gathering with your friends on the internet. We even had leaving drinks for our manager on Zoom the other night, and that worked really well. Like, it was actually way better than it ever deserved to be in comparison to like going out and having drinks with people. We had a right laugh. It was great. But yeah, like, that was way better. So just do that sort of stuff. You know, if you're listening to this, you're not doing that sort of stuff. Like, go actively seek that. Or if you're not like someone who has loads of friends or anything like that, like, there is so many communities on the internet, especially if you're a gamer, or if you're anyone. There's loads of people who you can reach out to on the internet. There's so many, like, especially like I've been doing stuff on Twitch. You know, just people you meet through the chat and stuff like that, who are really welcoming and like introduce you to new people on Discord chats and stuff like that to talk to. It's fucking great. So many people you can just go around and communicate with. Not that I struggle, because I've got so many friends. Because like luckily I am fortunate enough. I am in a position where I do have a lot of people who I can just call up or talk to online or hang out with. Do you know what I mean? Like, we're all in the same boat. We're all keeping each other sane. It's very, very nice, actually, that we're all sort of being there for each other through the internet as much as possible. And now they can listen to me say gooey shit like this on a podcast, so why not? So yeah, it's great. So, we're 37 minutes in. There's a timestamp for you. It's probably a bit longer than that because I did a stupid little intro for you at the start, and I added a little jingle in that I found on a royalty-free site. Until I get something made. A friend of mine, Carl Valentine, should hopefully be doing something like that at some point. I haven't really chased him on it. I need to chase him on it. So if you're listening to this, I'm going to chase you on it, Carl. Sorry. I do want a jingle. That would be really lovely. Really lovely. Actually, I've just realised before I start wrapping this up, I didn't make a Twitter for this, so you can just follow me on my personal. It's only me doing this anyway, really. It's all that matters. And I'm digressing on details that don't matter. So yeah, keep safe, stay sane. I hope you enjoyed my ramblings. Mainly about lockdown today. And I felt like it was a fitting topic of conversation for the first episode. I didn't want to dive too deep into anything because I know it's very wild and crazy times out there, and obviously everybody's circumstance is completely different to another. So, again, didn't want to be too worried with me because, again, I'm very fortunate. I am very fortunate in the position that I'm in right now. I do not take that for granted. And again, if you know me or if you just need someone to talk to, you can tweet me, anything like that. I'm happy to sort of be there for people who need a chat. I know I've had a couple of friends who have sort of been struggling with being locked in and stuff like that. And, just hit me up. I'm sometimes the worst at getting back to people as well, and I'm a very accessible dude though. So hit me up, even if I don't know you and you're new to this podcast. Tweet me. Why the fuck not? I'm going to set up a Discord and stuff like that as well to go along with my Twitch. So maybe we can start a community. Who knows? But yeah, this is episode 1 of hopefully many. Next episode, now we're at the end of this episode, I'm going to reveal, is going to be about cats. And my good friend Tia Locke is going to guest with me on the next episode. No date for that right now, but we're going to record it in the next couple of days, hopefully. I need to arrange that with her. So we're going to have an episode about cats, and we're going to not shit and sit. We're going to sit and shoot the shit. There you go. Bit of a tongue twister there. We're going to sit and shoot the shit, and we're going to talk about cats. And our love for cats, because we thought that's a fun topic that a lot of people can enjoy. Also, lining up another guest who is a friend of mine who's a tattoo artist, Cody Smith. He is going to be on the podcast at some point. And I've got a bunch of other friends that I want to get on here at some point. So if I haven't hit you up yet, and you think that I potentially will, or even if you just want to be on it, and talk to me, or if you can recommend someone who you think would like to be on a podcast that would have interesting conversation, then we'll get you on it, because why not? Like I say, this is just completely for fun, even if there's only 2 of you who listen to this. Appreciate it. Yeah, we made it. We did 41 minutes. Fucking go us. If you've made it this far, then you're the creme de la creme of people right there. I'm sorry if it was a bit rambly. Sorry if it was a bit long-winded, but I wanted to see if I could do it, and I feel like I've done it. So, there you go. Challenge done. Next time I'll have a guest. So I guess that's it for today, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in, and if you don't already, follow me on Twitter, at @AZA__, because I'm very awkward like that. You can subscribe to me on YouTube. On YouTube. I told you I can't speak. You can subscribe to me on YouTube. You'll have to just look up the podcast, or subscribe if you're watching this from a link I've shared on social media. You should have the subscribe button below. Notification bell, click that, get notifications every time we upload a new episode. You don't want to miss the episode on cats. I mean, come on, who the fuck wants to miss that? You can follow me on Spotify. You can follow me on SoundCloud, the Podcazt, all one word. And yeah, we'll be back next time with an episode of cats. Hope you enjoyed this. If you didn't, let me know in the comments below and tell me what to do next time, and we'll make it better. Because this shit's only going to get better. I think, maybe. And if it doesn't, then listen to Pod Vulture. Anyway, I'm out. Peace.